Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw. I'm here today with Andrea Grisdale, who is the owner and founder of IC Bellagio. And if you don't know IC Bellagio, they're one of the top inbound operators to Italy. But Andrea increasingly is really becoming very involved in some other major projects with the World Travel and Tourism Council. And one of the projects has to do with over-tourism and how we get communicating out to the public about that, and also out to the people that matter, the people in the local areas that are affected by this. And there's a new program that she's working on and developing that we want to talk to her about, and you're going to find out about that and more on Insider Travel Report. So, Andrea, first of all, tell me exactly how this all started, that you decided. I mean, you've been very active in WTTC for quite some time. And how did you decide that you wanted to really focus on this issue?
Well, James, first of all, thank you for the invite to speak with you today. So, yes, I'm a regional member with WTTC for Italy, and I really believe that if you're going to be part of something, you've got to if you want something out of it, you've got to put a lot into it. And I believe in the organisation and what they do. And it really began back in 2022, the beginning, when I think we were starting to see again a big numbers that were forecast for the season. And, I went to WTTC and I said, listen, guys, we're really back to what I was thinking at the time was 2019 situation where we were going to be looking at a lot of crowds, and approached them and said, can we do something? Can we work on a report? Can we work on a campaign to do something and find solutions for this situation that we have? Yeah, so that's where it all began.
All began way back then, and now you're really have just launched this campaign. And tell us what you're trying to do with this campaign and how it's going to work.
So it's a campaign, I have to say, has evolved in time. So I should also mention that when I first approached WTTC, I was speaking a lot about what we choose to call slow season travel, which was basically dispersal. How do we encourage people to travel at different times of the year, to travel differently, in the sense that, let's take Tuscany, which is a region many people know well. Let's all not go to the same place at the same time. It's kind of 6 places in Tuscany everybody runs to, and there's so many other beautiful towns and villages that are ignored. So how can we persuade people to go to those places? How can we persuade people to travel at different times of the day? We have the most beautiful sunrises, sunsets. Why do we always have to do half day tours at 9 a.m. in the morning, for example? Also, Italy, we have a total of 20 regions, yet only 14 of them are requested and right now being promoted by ourselves and also our colleagues as well. So I did feel that there was a big opportunity there. The word problem is not allowed in our office. We have challenges which become opportunities. And I think also considering all of the opportunities that travel and tourism does offer and the power of our sector, something had to be done also to show the positive impact that travel and tourism does have for everybody out there.
So you want to also communicate this to the local population about the importance of travel and tourism, and then communicate to the world at large that you should go look at off-season, look at other regions. And I think the example everybody uses, of course, is Venice. And tell us a little bit about your experience with Venice, because it's kind of interesting how you approached it with them.
Absolutely, James. We're actually about to launch phase 2 of our campaign, and that was actually shot in Venice. And we shot our phase 2 in January. It was the most beautiful, beautiful weather, blue skies.
Yeah, you said in January, which I wasn't thinking that would be happening.
I know, I saw you shiver thinking about the cold winter weather, but I promise you the sun was shining. It was absolutely beautiful. Great time of the year to be there. And we just loved the city. The camera crew that were with us, they said, oh my God, we had no idea this is what we were going to get. And we actually took that opportunity not only to show how beautiful Venice is at that time of the year, but also to speak to many local people, because we have to keep in mind that if we don't have happy locals, we're not going to have happy travelers. This is fact. But one thing that really is top of mind for me is so many people who are outside of our sector, they don't truly understand the importance of our sector and how everybody benefits from it. Tourism is not just about people working directly in the sector. We have to look at indirectly and induced business that comes from it as well. So it was great to see that and show some great examples. We also came across 2-3 different industries that were actually dying, and these companies that we went into and we actually filmed there and spoke to the families, they were literally ready to close their doors. And had they not pivoted and gone, for tourism, for example, we're working with a company who does rowing.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah.
So now we're all going to go rowing in Venice.
Of course we are, in the minor canals, and they were closing. There was no more business for them anymore, and yet they started a rowing school. So as crazy travelers can try to behave like we're Venetian rowers on the canals themselves, and of course it saved their business, and it's given a future to a business that after 5 generations was about to close its doors. So we're looking at how do we get also these kind of stories out there, not only again promoting our sector, but also promoting the importance of travel and tourism to people and all that it brings to them.
And indeed, you told me the story of a guy in Venice who was worried that his kids wouldn't be able to grow up in the Venice he knew, and he had to ship his mother off to the Lido because he really couldn't, because when the crowds come in during the year, you can't really deal with it. And I've been there. I've been in Venice when it just is really too crowded. I love Venice. It's one of my favorite places. But yeah, it was getting overcrowded. Now we have a situation where, they're starting to have fewer cruise ships. And things like that. You got to be a smaller ship now. But you have to overcome that kind of idea that tourism isn't always, a horrible thing for these places, right?
Yeah, and I think, our biggest job today is getting out there, the communication and the education, just how powerful our sector is and the opportunities that it offers so many people. For example, my husband, he works in construction materials business. He can account that over 70% of his business actually is thanks to tourism. Now, somebody maybe from that sector would not have even thought about that had someone not pushed him to look at that. But I think there's so many businesses that don't consider that tourism is so important to them. So it's definitely going to be a big part of our campaign for sure.
And I do think you just told me you've also you just have a new URL that you've taken out. And first of all, what is that URL and what's the purpose?
So it's all about the people that I'm sure you've seen me use as hashtags many times, and I use the phrase. And again, I'm a big campaigner about people. There's so many conversations around investment in, our beautiful hotels, the hardware, etc. Yet people are our biggest asset. As our good friend Matthew Upchurch says, it's human connection, and it truly is all about the people. And if we don't start investing in our people and seeing them as number one priority on our balance sheet, then I think we have to take a serious look at, in the mirror, and we need, things to change.
Now, how long is this campaign going to be running, or is this something you're just going to keep on going with?
Well, this is phase 2, and we're here. I'm here in London with my colleague Marnie, and we're off to World Travel and Tourism Council tomorrow morning. And the conversation is going to continue, and we would love to include other people from across the globe, because I do think this is something that is important to all of us, and I think it has a great future.
And what do you want to see as this campaign progresses? What kind of result do you want to see?
I would like to see more education, more communication around the power and the opportunities of travel and tourism and what it brings to our communities.
Absolutely, and just on a personal, your company is going to be celebrating a 25th anniversary this year, right?
Absolutely, James, we are, and we're going to have a big celebration in Imola, in Emilia-Romagna in November, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, I just RSVP'd, so I can't wait to see it. And I have been lucky enough to go on a few of your tours and also experience it. We said we were at you formerly had a palazzo, and we stayed there, but you do a marvelous job in developing these wonderful luxury programs throughout Italy. And of course, your base is Bellagio. And if you want to go to Bellagio, you can't go better than going with Andrea, because it is an amazing experience. But you can do almost anything. I called you up once and said, I need a guide to the Vatican like tomorrow, and you had it. It was amazing. And if I hadn't done that, I would have been totally lost. If you ever go to the Vatican these days, it is like you have to go through a whole gauntlet of potential guides, and you're not sure who's right and who's wrong. But I knew I had the right one with you. Right?
As I told you, James, it's all about the people, and our people are so important to us, to our business, and of course the experiences that they provide to our travelers as well.
Fantastic. Now, you have that website. Is there any other place we should go to learn more information about this campaign?
We will be putting a lot out on social media, so look forward to sharing with it all with you there.
Fantastic. Well, Andrea, great to see you here in London. I think I'm going to see you in a few weeks again at another event at the Virtuoso Symposium, I hope.
Absolutely.
And then hopefully in November as well. So again, good luck with this campaign. It's a wonderful idea, and I think WTTC is going to get really behind it, and I think people maybe like Virtuoso is going to get behind it, and we're going to try to do this. It's funny because when you first probably formulated this idea, we're all in COVID and there was no tourism, and then everybody's realizing. I think that more than anything sort of helped people understand that you can't just banish tourism. It's not going to happen. Because if you do that, you're affecting millions of people's lives. And everybody was like, and I would have loved to have been in Venice actually when there was nobody around, but that's not good for the people either, right?
Absolutely not, James. But I think, we are lucky we get to see all of the statistics. But if we are able to share this information, with the people on the street and, really promote what we do and how important it is to so many people in these communities, and find a way that they can live in towns and villages very happily, make a great living, but they're also great places to visit as well, then we'll have done a good job.
Andrea, again, good luck with this new campaign. Happy 25th anniversary, and we'll see you very soon.
See you then. Thanks, James.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.